The Javits Center is New York City's convention center. Nearly 40,000 companies set up shop inside the complex each year. They bring in nearly $2 billion for the city's economy. But the Javits Center also had a notorious reputation among wildlife lovers. Jim Axelrod is there to show us the unconventional solution. Jim, good morning.
Good morning. 17 stories above the hustle and bustle of Midtown Manhattan and directly on top of one of the city's busiest buildings, we are standing in the middle of a sanctuary of sorts, a green space 5 football fields large. And given the way it's harboring wildlife and saving energy, you might think of it as a modern-day Miracle on 34th Street.
The business of the Jacob Javits Center is business. 840,000 square feet of convention space, 150 events a year, more than 2 million visitors. Seeing what goes on downstairs makes the upstairs all the more of a contrast. Alan Steele is the Javits Center CEO.
It's sort of almost a contradiction that's jarring in the sense that you're not used to seeing this in the city.
It's one of the reasons I love to bring people up here, because it's not something they expect to see. It's not something they expect of a convention center.
Between 2009 and 2014, a major renovation included replacing the opaque glass. Birds hadn't been able to tell they were flying into what amounted to a giant mirror.
We were the biggest killer of birds in New York City, I understand.
And now?
This 7 acres of green roof up here gives us an opportunity to be a habitat for wildlife.
A material was embedded in the new translucent windows to let the birds know they were approaching something they needed to avoid.
When I'm walking up here, like right now even, I have a hard time believing I'm on a roof in New York City. I feel like I'm in a meadow somewhere.
Susan Elbin is the Director of Conservation for New York City Audubon. She studies the rooftop's bird population and estimates bird deaths are down 90%.
There's a nest under there too.
11 species of birds now call this roof home.
It's really peaceful, there's noise, but it sort of becomes sort of white noise, background noise, and it's just really peaceful. And I love that. I love that.
So that's a seagull, it sounds like?
The herring gull, yep.
And the herring gull is competing with the helicopter for what we're going to get to hear.
Yeah.
But that's the city.
Yeah, that's the city.
What was once a blacktop roof is now green. Soil and shrubs on the roof absorb water from storms, reducing runoff. Heating and cooling costs are down 25%.
You've cut your energy costs because green is different than black, and so you need less air conditioning?
Right, we don't create as much of a heat island effect, so it's actually cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter.
On the roof of New York City's largest convention center, pipes and ductwork have given way to birdhouses and beehives. And college students study weather patterns.
It's become a bit of a science project.
The roof of the Javits Center.
Yeah, it's something that the lessons we learn here can be taken and applied to the roof of every other building that you look at in this city.
There's a little baby seagull around here now that just learned how to fly.
Rick Brown is the building's chief engineer. He's been working at the Javits Center for 25 years.
We work up here every day, and it's, you go to work and it was just a job. Now it's a job, but it's a beautiful job.
While the neighbors in surrounding skyscrapers have a new stretch of nature to look down upon, it just may be the people of the Javits Center themselves who appreciate the changes the most.
Do you ever come up here when you really don't need to, just because you like to see it up here?
If you don't let anybody know, I'll tell you. I come up here for lunch once in a while, and I like just sitting here, but that's just between me and you.
Who would I tell?
Nobody.
Now, to fully commit to being bird friendly, the Javits Center turns its lights off after midnight during bird migration season. So, Gail, it would appear as though some parts of New York City really do sleep after all.
I know, Jim. I wish they could figure out a way people could go up there. I'd go have lunch with that guy sitting in the meadow. Thank you, Jim.